Hey guys, what's up? Super Deathbot here, and here is my second review for Thor Ragnarok. Here is obviously Thor. I actually kind of dig the design they did for him. I wasn't sure if I liked it at first, but I think he looks pretty cool, and I was excited to see. It's kind of like a throwback to his original helmet, but with some cool new aspects. I like the armor that they did on him. I think he looks kind of like, pretty badass, to be honest. I like the paint. I like the shoulder pad and the shin pad and stuff like that. I think the sculpt on him is pretty good. I think that they got a decent likeness to Mr. Hemsworth. I like the paint detail on it. I do wish, however, in this version they gave an alternate head, or that maybe this helmet came off. It does not, but I still think he's pretty cool. So let's dive right into this guy. As far as articulation goes, his head, which I'm pretty pumped about all these figures, their articulation seems to be getting better. His head can go down pretty far. It can also go up pretty far. Especially with the helmet on, he can at least look like he's looking directly up. And then with their ab crunch, if you hide the angle right, he can look like he's looking up pretty high. So that's cool. It doesn't move left to right that much, but enough. I kind of wish it did a little more, but for the front and back that you get, I'm okay with that. Shoulders can move outward. The shoulder pad is not, it's definitely some sort of rubber, but it's also a little rigid as well. So it's not just soft and flimsy, it's pretty rigid. He has the double jointed elbows, so, standard on any Legends, really, except for what seems to be the females. Double jointed knee. He's got, his foot can go down pretty far, so that'll be cool when he's flying. He's got ankle rocker, pretty good amount too. So, know how much everyone loves that. Even with this foot, the shin really doesn't hinder the articulation much at all, especially because you can have it lowered if you're looking for that, or you can move it up a little if you need to get some more articulation out of him. Same thing with his tunic. It's made out of rubber goods, so you can kind of get the leg up as high as you need to. Goes out pretty far as well. Ab crunch, he can go decent amount down, and look, he doesn't go as much as Loki, but pretty good amount back too. Much like Hela's cape, they tried to do it in a different way this time, where it plugs in different spots, and in this instance it plugs in right here and on the side here, which initially is pretty cool, and it goes in kind of at an angle, so it helps stay in a little bit. It can be kind of a pain to get it in there, and it's supposed to tuck up behind him, as you can see, but it kind of hits his shoulder sometimes, so there's another hole there if you don't get it in correctly. So it can kind of be a pain. And then the same thing, this one plugs into here, but anytime you move it, it kind of pops out. But if you can get it in there right, especially for static poses and stuff like that, or not, I shouldn't even just say static. It's if you get it right in there for the pose, you can always pop it back in. It's cool that you can take it off too, though. So I like that they're trying to figure out different ways of doing articulation and adding capes to things, instead of it just being attached to and always being in the way if you don't want to. I actually really like the way they did the cape too. I think they did a really good sculpt job on it. It could use a little paint, but most Legends can. But I think they did good. I like the buckle on the back, the strap, everything looks nice. We got that Mezco one coming out, so obviously I don't think it will stand up to that, but I gotta say, the paint and sculpt on him, as well as Hela, really awesome. The paints are metallics. I do kind of wish they'd use a little bit more matte paint on clothing and skin, so that way they weren't as shiny, because I think that's what hurts Legends a lot of times. But the paint and the sculpt work on him is really good. If he gets a little closer, I mean, you can see all the fine line and details. The shoulder pads are metallic. The symbols are painted on there really well. The stitching in the clothes is sculpted nicely. The banding, like the wraps around his foot, not banding, they're really awesome. And I think they did a pretty good job on this figure. You can get him into some cool poses, and he is the god of what, after all? Thunder. So they also give you these two swords. I think they did a good job. They have that same metallic blue paint as his armor, so that's really cool. They have that golden handle, so the contrast is really nice. I'm excited to see him fight Hulk in this movie. So I think the sculpt and paint on these two accessories in particular are pretty awesome. So why don't I'll put those in his hands. I'm really excited for this movie. Every time I see a trailer, especially that one that they released, I believe, last night at San Diego Comic-Con, it was really awesome. I'm excited to see Hulk speak. He looks pretty awesome, and I want to see this team together. So here we have Thor with his, I guess I'm just going to say swords, because I don't know if they're some sort of particular sword or just something he's using in this movie, or if they're even comic book related. I read a lot of comic books, but Thor is not really among them. So they hold in his hands fairly well. You know, they're not very loose. He grips them pretty well. They're going to be cool for pictures, and I'm excited for the rest of this wave. So that was just my quick review of Thor. He's really, really cool. Like I said, I know the Mezco one's coming out, so a lot of people are probably, unfortunately, going to pass on this wave, because I know everything gets pricey and it's doubles and stuff like that, and I feel, as much as I'm happy Mezco is coming out with those awesome Hulk and Thor figures and maybe more, it's kind of disappointing that it's going to take so much away from these figures for people who collect those, because I think Legends has been really trying to do a good job. So if you're interested and this is a character you're thinking about picking up, I think he is pretty awesome. So I would give him a go if you find him, especially hitting stores early, because, you know, as a collector, it's always fun to grab that stuff. So up next will be Loki, and I will, actually, you know what, let me show you a size comparison real quick, sorry. Here he is next to Loki. He's quite a bit taller than Loki, as should be. And then here he is next to Deadpool, and he is quite a bit taller than him, because he is supposed to be. So, there you have it. Up next, Loki. Thanks, guys.